Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm your digital host, Tatyana White, and welcome back to another episode of the 48 Recap, the one stop shop to catch up on some of the top news stories of the week, including the Montana plane crash that killed 3 family members from Huntsville, how the government shutdown is affecting businesses and restaurants in Huntsville. A friend identified a Marshall County homicide victim who was killed in a shooting a month ago, and excitement around this weekend's Magic City Classic in Birmingham. So I hope you all are having a wonderful weekend so far. I hope you all are enjoying the cooler weather. I know some people are like, no, they prefer hot, but I definitely grew up in more of like a cool household. I feel like that kind of sticks with you. Whatever temperature household you grew up in is what you prefer. Like I grew up in like a 72, 73 degree type of household. Like we usually kept it there. Sometimes occasionally turned on the heat, but also we lived in Florida, so it's like sometimes it gets really cold in the winter and fall, sometimes it doesn't. So let me know in the comments what you guys think is the right temperature for the house. I think for sure a good 73 is perfect. It's not too hot, not too cold, very comfortable. And even a lot of us here at 48, we kind of have this debate all the time on what's considered like the perfect temperature. And so whatever you guys prefer, I know I definitely just am enjoying the cooler weather, and it feels like fall. I enjoy the fall, and so I'm excited for fall and winter weather to come, but I know a lot of people are probably missing the heat. But let's get into this weekend's recap. So today we start off with a 48 update from last weekend where you first heard from us about the tragic death of a Huntsville pilot and his 2 daughters. And their names were Mark Laney and Ellie Anderson, and they were killed in a plane crash in Montana. And this past week there were many things done throughout the Huntsville community in honor of them, and honestly throughout a lot of different communities because this story got around like pretty nationally, and a lot of different communities honored them. Huntsville High School, where the youngest daughter, Ellie, was a senior, they postponed most homecoming events this week for just in honor of her and her sister and her dad as they passed from this crash. And the Powell County, Montana sheriff, he said that the plane crash it crashed last Friday in a very remote area where there is no cell signal. And so authorities said that afternoon the plane dropped off the radar. Then the plane crash scene was found last Saturday morning, where all 3 of them were pronounced dead on the scene. And one friend of Misty Anderson, who is the mom and the wife of the victim, said that she is completely shocked and devastated by the situation. So let's see what she had to say.
And as the mom, I have 3 girls. I'm married, and I can't imagine. I mean, a lot of tears this weekend among the community. It's just hard to fathom.
And the hairdresser who served the oldest daughter, Lainey, and her friends, she told WAFF 48 News that Lainey was a sweet girl who was very close with her friends and roommates at Auburn, and she was part of a sorority. Heather Baker, that hairdresser, she told us that Lainey, her roommates, and her friends, they were always going to each other's events. They were always supporting each other, and so this was a very hard tragedy for them to process. And Baker said that Lainey was very passionate about flying and that she was a flight instructor. She was inspired by her dad to be a pilot like him. And so Baker said that every time Lainey would book an appointment, they would have to kind of book around her hectic flight schedule. And they said this tragedy has just been completely devastating for her friends and for the Auburn community and her flight community as well. So let's hear what Heather, her hairdresser, had to say about this tragedy.
She was just a sweet soul, and she was super nice and friendly, and she was just super sweet. I can't even, she was just one of those girls that instantly lit up the room, and she was just always super nice and positive, and she was just a sweet soul.
Mark Anderson was also remembered by his coworkers, and they said he was a talented pilot and just a great person. And on Wednesday night, there was a small step toward healing for those mourning Mark, Laney, and Ellie. Hundreds of people gathered for a candlelight vigil filled with prayers, music, stories, and just the community coming together to support each other during this time. And a lot of those stories focused on just the remarkable lives that Mark, Laney, and Ellie had, and the joy that they brought to many people in their lives and many people in the community. 48's Callie Neese was in attendance at the vigil, and she shares more on what she saw when she was there.
The stands of Milton Frank Stadium filled Wednesday night, not for football, but to mourn the loss of Huntsville High School senior Ellie Anderson, her father, Mark Anderson, and her sister, Lainey Anderson. Ellie was a dancer, and her sister, Lainey, was a recent Auburn grad, following in her father's footsteps by becoming a certified flight instructor. Hundreds gathered in prayer by candlelight. Friends of Ellie, Mark, and Lainey shared stories on stage of the Andersons' kindness and the light they brought to their lives. All here committed to banding together for Misty, the wife and mother of the 3 lost over the weekend. Huntsville City School Board Vice President Ryan Renaud knew them well.
Mark, Lainey, and Ellie, they loved fiercely. They didn't just love their friends and family. They treated their strangers and people that they encountered throughout their lives as family, and they helped people heal with empathy and grace.
This outpouring of support was needed.
And we wanted to give this community an opportunity to come together, not just to mourn, but again to celebrate their life in the wake of a tragedy.
Reporting in Huntsville, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
Yes, it's nothing like just having the comfort of community to lean on during a time like this. And a GoFundMe is currently set up to help support the family during this time. If you would like to donate to the GoFundMe, visit our website at WAFF.com for the donation link. And the investigation into the crash has been turned over to the FAA and the NTSB. And WAFF, we learned after reaching out that due to the government shutdown that the NTSB stated by email that they're not able to respond to all inquiries at this time. So it may take a little time for this investigation to come through and for them to be able to give us more information on it. And so we're now on day 25 of the government shutdown, which is now the second longest one in U.S. history. And furloughed federal workers are feeling the brunt of the impact, but many businesses like restaurants are also taking a major hit. 48's Noel Cowell, he went out this week to talk to some restaurant managers, and one of the restaurant managers said they've lost a lot of foot traffic since the shutdown took place, especially near Redstone Arsenal, where a lot of these workers were going to these restaurants for lunch breaks and maybe after work for dinner. And so he talked to these restaurant managers just to see what has happened since the government shutdown has taken place.
These last few weeks have not been easy for the restaurants that are right next to one of the gates going into Redstone Arsenal. They have heavily relied on federal workers coming in during their lunch breaks, and since this shutdown started, those workers haven't come in. Claire Ayala with Huntsville-Madison County Chamber says from the estimated 18 to 20,000 furloughed workers here in Huntsville, most have avoided going out to eat since the shutdown started.
We know that they are tightening their belts though right now. We know that they are being careful with their spending. It's not clear when this is going to end. We hope it ends soon. We hope both sides come to a resolution.
Matthew Crane, who manages these 3 restaurants next to the Redstone Visitor Center, says they're also losing the customers who would normally go in and out of the gateway every day. Crane says since the shutdown started, they've lost 20 to 30% of their typical foot traffic.
The guest counts have gone down quite a bit, foot traffic at all 3 locations. We've even had catering orders cancel, some events cancel. So right now we're just trying to stay positive.
If you're out there watching this and you can go out to eat 2 times a week, please do. Our small business community needs you, and our servers would be happy to come in and see you at their restaurant and give you great service.
Crane says the restaurant's main goal right now is to give the guests that do come in the best possible experience that they can, because this shutdown is just simply out of their control. He says while everyone is playing the waiting game, his thoughts and wishes are with the people who don't have a paycheck right now. Reporting in Huntsville, Noah Cowell, 48 News, on your side.
We also got a 48 News exclusive this week where a friend identified the name of a Marshall County homicide victim 1 month after her death. And so the victim was identified as Olga Rios, and she was found dead inside her Martling Road home near Asbury back in September. And so her friend and coworker of Rios, Lori Diamond, told 48 News this week that Rios was a single mother of 3. She had twin daughters and an older son. And Diamond said Rios, she worked extra shifts at a healthcare facility to make ends meet for both her son and her twin daughters.
She was such a bubbly, outgoing person. You could not help but like Olga. Her children and her family was her #1 priority.
And a suspect was taken into custody on unrelated charges following her death. And the Marshall County District Attorney said they are waiting on some test results before presenting the case to a grand jury. And today is the 84th Magic City Classic between Alabama State and Alabama A&M inside Legion Field. On Wednesday, the annual press conference was held in Birmingham, and 48 Sports reporter Kaylee Tinglestad was there, and she has a recap of this exciting day. This is one of the biggest games here in Alabama between HBCUs, and so I know this is a very exciting time. A lot of people here in Huntsville are going down to Birmingham, and people from all over are coming to Birmingham, and so Kaylee and our sports director, Carl Prather, are down there right now, but let's take a look at what Kaylee experienced at the press conference earlier this week.
The last Saturday in October, also known as the Magic City Classic, the biggest football game in the country between HBCUs. The last 3 seasons, Alabama State has earned the bragging rights over Alabama A&M. That's as long as members of the senior class have been with the Bulldogs.
I've been at school for a long time. Last year was my first time starting and actually being a part of the game. And with that being said, there's no other feeling. Seeing all those people in front of you, cheering for you, either booing you.
For some of these athletes, this will be their first year competing in the Classic, but playing at Miles College, they understand what Saturday means.
Pretty big because we played in big stages at Miles. Like we played at Tuskegee, Homecoming. We have played a lot, but being here in the Magic City Classic, the biggest game in Birmingham, I'm very excited right now.
Head coach Sam Shade knows his team has their work cut out for them, but they feel well prepared off of last week's bye.
Not many teams get the type of bye week we had. We had one of the most hard-working bye weeks that you can probably ever see. So this all about their offense. They have a great team, but I feel that we've been more than prepared for this game.
The Alabama A&M defense will have a tall task hoping to keep the Hornets' high-powered offense that averages almost 40 points a game to a minimum. In Birmingham, Kaylee Tinglestad, 48 Sports, on your side.
Yes, that is just such an exciting time, and I love rivalry games, and they're always so exciting, especially like the Battle of the State kind of rivalry games, and especially coming from Florida, there are so many Florida rivalry games that are fun to watch. It's always a good time, and always good to support like your team, your favorite, and getting those bragging rights for the state. And so for those who are going, have so much fun and just be safe. And again, our sports director, Carl Prather, and sports reporter, Kaylee Tinglestad, they are in Birmingham right now, and they're going to be covering the Classic. So stay tuned tonight for our newscast to see more on that. And coming up after the break, we'll take a look at a very fun organization that I personally love so much and have created a great relationship with them, R&B Vibes Live, and how they're just bringing together good music and community and their events here in North Alabama. And I'll also give you guys a sneak peek into news stories coming up in our evening newscast, and we'll also take a look at some great events happening in the Huntsville and surrounding areas this weekend. We'll take a look at all of that and more when we come back. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 48 Recap. This week I got to talk with 2 really incredible people that I'm just so grateful that I have gotten to meet and connect with over the past few months in Huntsville. They've definitely made my experience here very enjoyable, and that's the founders and CEOs of R&B Vibes Live, Tatyana and Ryan Felton. And they host different R&B events throughout North Alabama, and they've even now expanded to go to some venues in Chattanooga. And they just give local artists such a great opportunity, and especially here with Huntsville becoming such a big music scene, they're giving a lot of artists and musicians an opportunity to perform, and they have vendors and just a lot of talented people in the arts and entertainment industry come together for a good time. I personally met them at the camp in Mid-City District at one of their main venues. That's one of the main places where they have R&B Vibes Live. And I remember the first time we bonded over sharing the name Tatyana, one of the CEOs. And so ever since then, it's just always been a great time. They're very personable and they're just amazing, and they host really amazing events, and they're so much fun. And so take a listen to what they have to say about the vibes at R&B Vibes Live.
Overall, whenever you come out to an R&B Vibes Live event, you're gonna have a great time, and then you're gonna also have an opportunity to not only hear great music, see great hosts, DJs, but also meet new people that you probably never met before. So it's like we bring people together, and when I say bring people together from all walks, like the diversity out there, especially when we're at the camp, you got people coming from Madison, Harvest, New Hope, Decatur, and when they come, it's like you meet someone that you never met before. So you definitely get a great atmosphere, but you also get a moment of great music to add to that.
So it's an experience.
Yes.
To say the least, because we have not just artists, it's vendors, you have painters, you have it's different. So it is. If you come to an R&B Vibes Live show, it's a vibe.
Yes.
That's the best way to put
Yeah,
it.
you guys definitely live up to the name because it's like performances, but then you guys do have the different vendors, and you can leave with something, whether it's a shirt or a cup or it's just something you can leave with. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, they are so amazing and just funny, great people to be around. I would recommend going to at least one of their events. It's always a great time, and as they mentioned, there's people from all walks of life that come to their events, and it's just a great time. Their main events, or their main venues, I should say, are the camp and the Note Jazz Lounge here in Huntsville, and then Therapy in Chattanooga. Those are their main venues that you can check them out at, but they do go to a lot of different places. And you can just find a lot of cool vendors and things to purchase there. They have people that do perfumes and just people that do paintings and just all types of really cool things. And you can just enjoy good music and dancing. And you can follow them at rnbvibeslive.com and on R&B Vibes Live on Instagram and Facebook to know more about any upcoming events they have, and you won't regret it. And if you're interested in becoming somebody that performs at their events or being a vendor or a sponsor, their website and social media is the best way to do that. And Ryan and Tatyana are so personable, and they're always walking around talking with the audience, connecting, engaging, and they're just great people all around. And so they're definitely people you can connect with and talk to at their events. And so check out more on R&B Vibes Live in the Full 48 Now interview at WAFF.com under the Digital Shows tab. And now let's move over to a story to look out for coming up in our evening newscast. So Florence police, they told us this morning that 2 people were injured after a car crash in Florence. And Florence police, they responded to the single vehicle wreck on Cloverdale Road at around 5:50 this morning. The 2 people that were in the vehicle, they were both transported to the landing zone for med flight, but it's unknown at this time if both of them were flown for treatment or if one or the other was flown for treatment. But all lanes have now been reopened on Cloverdale Road since the wreck. Tune into our evening newscast to hear more details on this story and many others. And if you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, Low Mill Arts and Entertainment is having a lot of fun events, like a Nightmare on Seminole Drive dance party. And so this is a Nightmare on Elm Street themed type of Halloween bash, and of course costumes are encouraged. It's Halloween themed. Pre-sale tickets can be purchased on the Low Mill website for $20, and tickets are $25 at the door. And the event is going to be going on for quite some time tonight from 7 to 11 p.m. So plenty of time to dance and just enjoy yourself and get into the Halloween spirit. And Low Mill, they do so many events, especially for the holiday season. So definitely check out their website for many more fun events that might be going on for Halloween, and then Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas. There's so many things that they're doing that are very fun. And then the Vornado Circus is also in town, and this is a pretty cool event. It's a Broadway style circus, which I've never heard of before, but that sounds like a super fun and interesting thing, very unique concept. And so they will be performing in Huntsville throughout various different days until November 2nd. So there's plenty of time to see them. Tonight's show is from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and Sunday they have a show from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. and then they have another one on Sunday from 5 to 6:30 p.m. And again, they'll be here on different days until November 2nd. So plenty of time to go see it if you want. And it's going to be at Mid-City District here in Huntsville. And tickets can be bought at VernatoCircus.com. And it's just a fun combo of circus and Broadway. You can't beat that. So definitely check it out if you can. And for the adults who just want to have a good laugh tonight, you can go to Levity Live Comedy Club and check out Ari Spears. And he is so hilarious. I love watching his clips of his stand-ups on Facebook. And he actually came into the 48 studio this week. He was on TVL, our lifestyle show, and it was an honor meeting him. And he was very nice, and he is just such a funny guy. So if you just want to get out, let your hair down, and just see some funny acts, this is definitely a good comedy show to go to tonight. And you can check him out at Levity Live, again tonight, 6:30 show, and then he also has an 8:45 show, and tickets can be purchased at levitylive.com. And I love the Levity Live venue. I went there earlier for the first time this year to see Marlon Wayans, another great comedian. So it's a great venue. The staff is very nice and everything, and so great time. I would definitely recommend to go see Ari Spears. And there are so many fun events happening this weekend, both for the kids and for the adults. It's a little bit of something for everybody, for the whole family too. Lots of great things going on in North Alabama this weekend. So go out, enjoy yourself, enjoy the fall weather. And anytime throughout the week, if you're looking for a fun or just good event to go to, you can always check out Huntsville.org's event tab, and we are Huntsville.com's event calendar to see more events happening in the area. And that's all I have today for the 48 recap. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to tune into 48's Weather Extra segments. Our meteorologists go live every Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. and every Saturday and Sunday at 8:15 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Forecaster Jada Russell will join you all here at 4:30 today for another edition of Weather Extra. And definitely tune in today for her Weather Extra segment to hear about Sunday's First Alert Weather Day. Our meteorologists have said that this is not going to necessarily be a severe weather day or tornadoes or anything, but we made it a First Alert Weather Day because of the heavy wind and rain. So definitely still take precautions and be safe, but this is not most likely, according to our meteorologists, going to be any type of tornadoes or anything like that. And so just be sure to tune into today's Weather Extra to hear more about that. And it's just another way to give you all extra insights on the latest weather forecast. And also make sure to download our 48 apps and follow us on our Facebook and YouTube channel so you don't miss any updates on the news, on the weather, especially for days like tomorrow when we have those First Alert weather days. And you'll definitely want to stay up to date on our social media and on our apps. And if you would like to stay connected with me throughout the week, please be sure to follow my Facebook page at Tatyana White, WAFF 48. I would love to connect with you all. I love talking and connecting with people in the community, so definitely always feel free to reach out to me about, news, or if you just want to say hi, I'm always available for that. And yeah, so definitely just reach out and take care, everyone, and stay safe. Go out, have some fun. Again, enjoy the fall season, enjoy some of that cooler weather because it started getting very hot, as you all know, at a certain point. So definitely go out, enjoy some of the cooler weather, and I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend.